Colonel Puss Puss. You excited for the YouTube channel to launch tomorrow? Mr. the Man? Huh? What? What are you saying it's not tomorrow? What are you saying it's today? Are you serious? What? Puss Puss, what am I meant to do? Look at me, I'm not ready to be on camera. Oh, Puss Puss, we have so much work to do. The place is a mess. Oh no. Welcome to Becoming Ben. That's me, Ben, becoming me. But it's not just about me. It's about you too. It's about me and you and us and we and his and hers and theirs and ours. That's what's so exciting. That's why I'm so excited to launch the channel. And well, here we are right now. If you're watching it, guess what that means? We are live. This channel is about mental illness in all the gritty, embarrassing, weird detail people aren't talking about, or others are too shy to talk about because it's embarrassing. But now, I want to create this channel to talk about it. Finally, it's about spreading mental health awareness. It's about understanding childhood trauma, connecting with your inner child, living with anxiety and depression in the 2020s, especially through COVID. The past 2 years have been hell for almost all of us out there. Becoming Ben is a place where I'm going to share my personal journey with all of you out there willing to listen to me blab away about myself. It's where I'm going to walk you through my personal trauma and my spiral into anxiety and depression, but most importantly, my emerging from anxiety and depression. Throughout my journey, especially early on, the people who would open up and share their stories with me, their personal, gritty detail, embarrassing, emotional stories with me. And those stories helped me feel so much less alone. I felt connected with them. Even if we just shared a piece, a slice of the pie of our journeys, it helped me feel like I wasn't alone. I wasn't losing my mind. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't this unique anomaly freak in society. I felt that human connection with someone and I felt safe. And that has inspired me to create Becoming Ben. I was so inspired by friends, family, co-workers, and seriously, strangers on Reddit, especially the Pittsburgh Penguins subreddit or the Steelers subreddit or Pittsburgh sports subreddits, who opened up or shared their stories with me or listened to me share my stories. So those people who share the intimate details of their stories with me, where my jaws dropped and I go, oh my goodness, I can't believe they trust me with this information. I want to pay it forward now. Sharing this data, sharing these stories helps so much. And the more we share, the more that's out there, the better it is for people suffering or people who just don't understand. I want to share my entire journey with you. That's gonna, which is ongoing, by the way. I don't want to make it seem like I am cured of anything. Holy cow. That's not how it works, at least not for me. This is how life goes. And I'm always gonna have anxiety. I'm always gonna have bouts of depression, but I'm slowly learning the tools to apply to myself to help those dips not dip as far down and not last as long. As I go through the trials and tribulations and all of that, I'm going to share that with you at the same time. not only do I deal with anxiety and depression at times still, but I can turn into an irritable man-child too, still. Which is really embarrassing when the anxiety really latches in. But again, I'm learning to pull myself out quicker and not fall as deeper. And it's tough. It's a muscle. It's like training for a marathon. As I said, I'm still learning and growing, and I want to put as much data out there, even as I continue on my path through the slips, through the stumbles, because that's all part of life, ups and downs. Don't beat yourself up when you are down. It's gonna happen. Appreciate when you are up or when you are neutral. It's about learning those tools and learning that perspective. There aren't instructions out there, there's no blueprint out there. This isn't taught in school as it should be. There's nothing laid out in society either of anxiety and depression. Here's the steps you need to take. Yeah, if you break a bone, break an elbow, break a leg, okay, you know what you have to do. You know how much time you need to take off. But not with anxiety and depression. It's so different for everybody on how to get there, but it also feels so same when you are there. Unfortunately, this is something we have to figure out on our own. And guess what? Not everybody has the time. Not everybody has the money. And especially when you are in this shit, when you are having daily panic attacks, when you can't get yourself out of bed to brush your teeth or to put on socks, how are you meant to find a therapist, find the right therapist, find a psychiatrist, figure out what meds to go, figure out what's going on in general? How are you supposed to work and do your job? How are you supposed to be a single mother? How are you supposed to go to high school? And just the stress and pressure of high school on top of anxiety and depression. How are you supposed to do any of this if we're not talking about it? And in 2022, through these past 2 years, it's time. I'm going to share in detail what worked for me, what I struggled with, what didn't work for me, the treatments I went through, because any part of my story might connect with you or somebody you know. And hell, that's a win in itself. And don't worry, you're not gonna have another white dude mansplaining to you, telling you what to do. Yes, I am sharing so much of my life and so many of my stories with you all, but we're also gonna have other people of different genders, different races, different backgrounds, different cultures, sharing their stories with you all too. Because even if we connect with just one person, that one person can connect with another person, and that person can connect with another person, and so on. And that means, it's working. That means we're doing something right. This isn't about my channel blowing up. It's just about connecting with you. Lonely is sad. Lonely is terrifying. People who are going through a difficult time and don't even realize they're suffering mental illness, anxiety, and depression. I want them to find this channel and I want them to feel seen and heard. I want this channel to provide relief and hope for people out there who feel like the end of the world is happening. If I can utilize the tools and understand the tools to maintain balance and lift myself up and understand my anxiety and depression, I promise, so can you. I promise. It just takes time, it takes patience, and it takes effort. And you're gonna have to put in the effort. Friends and family will support you along the way, but it really comes down to you. There are people out there who are aware of their anxiety and depression, and They are just too worked up and pinned down and stressed out and busy and hating themselves to do anything about it. This channel is also for them. Oh, taking the first baby step towards self-care and improvement is almost impossible. When you can't even feed yourself, you can't even make yourself toast. You're in bed for days and days and days, hating yourself and feeling the world ending around you. How the hell are you supposed to get up and go to work? How the hell are you supposed to get up, go to work, and maintain your relationships in life, and maintain your personal health, mental and physical? You don't. There's no time to do that. So that's where we want to help you. There are also people out there who just don't understand anxiety and depression. I would like to know how that feels. I don't even understand how that would feel, but hey, this channel is for you too. We want to teach what anxiety and depression feels like, but we also want to show what it feels like, what it is, so you can understand and say, hey, wait, this sounds like my friend, this sounds like my colleague, this sounds like my teammate, this sounds like my sister, my mom, whatever, my daughter, my son, my nephew. It's a window of education because this impacts tens, hundreds of millions of people. Again, beating the dead horse, especially through COVID. Hell, you might be impacted right now and you don't even know. And that's one of the things we want to show with kind of how the warning signs started to build up for me. And I kind of put that off for a few years because I didn't know. I wasn't aware. And that's scary. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am not pretending to be. I am not. I don't have all the answers. God damn, I wish I did. That would make life a little bit easier. Just a little bit at least. Just a little bit. But I have some answers. I have a lot of questions. And these are what I'm going to share with you along the way. I will only recommend therapy. It is powerful, it's enlightening. If you find the right therapist and you're honest with yourself and open up, it can help you in so many different ways. Most people out there, I feel, could benefit from even temporary therapy. Yeah. Not everybody has to go twice a week like me or whatever. But I will not recommend any treatments, even the ones that worked for me. I'm not going to tell you to take antidepressants. I'm not going to tell you to take psilocybin or ketamine or TMS or things like that. I am going to inform you on those. We're going to bring in medical professionals to talk about them. We're going to share success stories. We're going to share frustrations with them. Antidepressants don't work too well for me, but they're miracles for other people. Ketamine worked very well for me. There are other people it doesn't work well for. There are so many options out there, and it's about talking about them and sharing them. The newer treatments I mentioned, ketamine, psilocybin, TMS, those aren't being talked about right now, and there is some stigma too, especially with psilocybin and ketamine, because they're recreational drug use. I've been on the receiving end of that. But they offer relief to millions of people out there. And there is science to back it. And we want to talk about that. Yes, we're gonna talk about heavy shit. That's anxiety and depression. But I wanna tell with smiles on the faces. I'm going to share some very personal, sad stories in my life. I don't want you to feel bad for me, I promise. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm going to tell these stories from love and endearment and nostalgia, I promise. Because you might be able to relate to some of this stuff. And you might be able to pull it into your personal journey. And that's what we're looking for here. But just because I'm a white dude in America doesn't mean my life was easy either. What is important, and what we hopefully show in this channel, is there are billions of ways to fall into anxiety and depression. Well, yes, you might be depressed too, and you'll hear my story and be like, well, it's not even comparable, it's so much worse than you, man. Yeah, on paper, hell yeah, definitely. That's something I'm absolutely not going to argue. But when we're both in that depressive state, just with everyone else, it feels very, very, very similar. That spiral is a terrifying place to be. No matter how many people come to your rescue to help out and support and text and call and knock on your door, it almost can make you feel lonelier because you hate yourself and you're fighting with yourself. But if we continue to talk and connect as human beings, the dark place gets a little bit lighter, it gets a little less lonely, and that's a goddamn beautiful thing.